Alright, this is John Cole with okraw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for today in the world. I'm here in Costa Mesa, California at the Orange County Fairgrounds, and I'm here for the 4th annual SoCal VegFest, which is billed as the most impressive and largest vegan festival on the planet. Maybe not on the planet, maybe at least in the United States, because I know over in the UK they might have some pretty big festivals, but definitely it's one of the biggest that I've ever seen in my life. And the mission of the SoCal VegFest is to inspire curiosity and create awareness about eating more plants and vegan foods. And I think this is great. It needs to happen everywhere. There should be a vegan festival in every city across the country to help educate people and bring them into eating more plants. I mean, eating plants is the way of the future, and I don't care if you guys eat all plants like I do, or almost all plants. Here's the key really is to eat more plants and to squeeze out all the animal foods. Whether you want to do that for the environment, hey, which is great because plant foods are the best foods for the environment. Whether you want to do that because for your health, like I did. I got into this because of my failing health, and plants are the best foods, especially fruits and vegetables, especially the leafy greens, are the best for your health. Or whether you want to do it for the compassion for the animals, because you do not want to see other creatures on the planet have to suffer, needlessly suffer, or even die so that you guys can eat dinner. So I'm glad that they're here doing lots of education, and it is totally working. Like, this thing is totally huge. It's right behind me. I've been here basically all day. This is the end of the first day. I have like maybe another 45 minutes before they close up and people are out of here. So I need to get in there and film a bunch of stuff. And then I'm going to come back tomorrow and film the rest for you guys to show you guys what you missed. Now, what I want to say right now is my opinions about the festival here, the SoCal VegFest, is coming from a person that's been eating plant-based raw food diet now for the last 23 years. If you guys are seeing this and looking for a review of the VegFest, what I will say is this, and you could turn off the video after this. I will say, come out, it's amazing, right? There's lots of education. I really like this event because number one, it's big. There's lots of vendor booths. Number two, there's lots of food booths. So if you're really into vegan, like processed junk foods that's saving the animals, maybe not the best for your health, there's so many different food booths here, and people are totally going crazy. Like in the middle of the day, the food booths were totally packed, right? And the other thing I want to comment on is the education. The education here is probably one of the best education schedules or profiles that I've seen on any veg fest that I've ever been to. A lot of vegetarian festivals or vegan festivals I think are great, but they're highly weighted on animal rights, which I think is good, of course, because there needs to be awareness about this. But we really, in my opinion, as people who eat plants, need to be concerned about the whole picture, not just about the animals, but also about people's individual health. I mean, as time goes on, yeah, there's a good percentage of the population that always want to be more compassionate, but even a larger percentage of the population is having some health challenges from eating too much highly processed foods, including animal foods, and people's health are failing. So they want a solution, and VegFest is a great place for a solution. And I hate to see VegFest that actually promote eating basically vegan junk food. Although it's saving the animals, it's not good for people's health, And so this event actually, on the flip side, actually has, definitely has some compassion for animal talks, but majority of the food demonstrations, I'm presenting one tomorrow that hopefully will be up on this channel next, is based around eating more fruits and vegetables and raw foods, which is totally amazing. Not all raw foods are healthy, but just eat more fruits and vegetables. So I'm glad they have heavily weighted on the presentations about eating more of the best health foods on the planet. And then number two, they have some world-class speakers. I got to see my friend Dr. Joel Fuhrman, who was here, and he's given 2 presentations, one today and one tomorrow. And some other doctors appearing and giving good health information, and of course also there's good advocacy. So actually one of the speakers, hopefully I get to interview him, was talking about how to basically convert people to be vegan, or at least to get along with them better, to make them, maybe not convert them, but to keep them moving in a good direction, to kind of create awareness. So yeah, amazing event. If you guys are not into raw foods and just want to learn about this event, I'd say come out. It's the best investment of the time, and it's very inexpensive to come. So support the cause and the mission, all right? So for the rest of you guys that have been watching me for a while, you guys know I'm into a raw food, plant-based diet. So I've been eating fruits and vegetables, dominates my diet for the last 23 years. These are the best foods on the planet. So, my review of this event is based on me being a 23-year raw food, plant-based vegan. So, my criticisms sometimes are just coming from me and what I believe, not to reflect the organizers of the event. The event is great for a standard person coming off the street, because this is light years ahead where most people are, but this is just a raw foodist perspective, and hopefully they can make a couple tweaks to make it more raw food friendly, and even help people better by having healthier foods to eat. So anyways, let's head inside and check out some of the exhibitor booths first. All right, so now I'm in the main hall, and there's not too many areas of this event here. There's like an inside, which is really nice. It's actually in the 80 degrees today here in October in Southern California, so it's nice that there's an inside that's a lot cooler than the outside. But inside they have basically booths and booths and booths of all kinds of vegan products and accompanying products. So whether it's like vegan food, vegan clothing, vegan buttons, all this kind of stuff, that's all here, as well as organizations trying to educate people about veganism and eating more plants, and handing out actually free books and all this stuff to this extent. So I definitely think that is great. In this part of the episode, what I'm going to cover is actually my favorite booths, which there are actually not many, because I'm definitely not going to cover any kind of vegan junk food products. I want you guys to prepare your own foods at home, and a lot of the prepared foods are basically makes it easier for you. So they have like companies selling like cooked beans in a package, or steamed beans in a package. Or I want you guys to buy the beans and steam yourself. It's a lot cheaper. But hey, if it takes you to buying some beans in a package you could open and just shovel in your mouth to eat them, that's great too. Anyways, let's go ahead and cover some of my favorite of few booths that are here at the event today. All right, so the first booth, and actually probably my favorite booth here, is actually called the VegePod. If you guys can see it, basically it's a raised bed that you could actually get a little stand for, so you guys could grow food, even if you have a deck or patio, some kind of outside area. And it's basically an all-in-one self-watering growing system, so you guys could grow your own food, right? Growing your own food is probably the best thing you guys could do as somebody who eats plants, because now you're empowered and you're growing your food that you need to eat. It's like the best thing possible. If you guys want to learn how to grow food, check out my other YouTube channel, growingyourgreens.com. I have more videos on gardening than anybody else in the world, so that I could empower you guys to be a producer in this consumer-driven society and world that we live in, right? Only when we start producing more and we rely on other people less, I think that's when the world's really going to start to change. And what better thing you could do as a plant-based eater than to grow your own food? Not only is it higher quality, not only can you add things to the soil to make your foods more nutritious, like adding rock dust and trace minerals, not only can you grow different varieties of foods that literally money can't buy. I mean, I grow these crazy, Asian vegetables, leafy green vegetables that you can't go out and buy at the grocery store, even at Whole Foods, that have different phytonutrients and phytochemicals to basically disease-proof my body. So by far, growing food is the best thing you guys could do. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look close up at the VegePod and learn a little bit more. So as you guys can see, this is the VegePod here, and this is like approximately 3 feet by 3 feet. And look at this, they got like lettuce in here, they got kale in here, they got like some Swiss chard in here, and maybe some kind of broccoli in the back. So I mean, literally, if you guys go buy like a head of kale and you buy it, right, and then you eat it, then it's gone, poof, your money has evaporated. But if you invest in a growing system like the VegePod, or just put in raised beds in your backyard, for all I care, grow some seeds out, you could have basically this lettuce plant that you don't have to cut it down and harvest a whole head like you would in the store. You just go and pick the outer leaves. Literally, this little garden here is big enough so that I could pick like 1 or 2 leaves off every plant in here. That would create a nice salad. And guess what? The plants are still alive. Even if you just pick the outside leaves, they're still going to grow for you. So you can pick a salad tonight, let it get nice sun and grow a couple more days days, it'll be just as big. Take another salad off. So literally you can just have greens for life, and they're fresher and better than the store. And I like this setup because it is self-watering. If you buy the the extra kit, you could raise it up off the ground so you don't have to bend down to reach it. In addition, it has like a top cover here that you can put down to protect it from the inclement weather, like in the winter time. You could also protect it from the bugs. You have a greenhouse, optional greenhouse cover you can put on the top. This will keep the bugs out so you don't have to spray any kind of pesticides in your garden. In addition, it has a built-in watering system, so this is probably one of the best kits that I've ever seen. I do have another video on my other gardening channel. I hope to set one of these guys up pretty soon and make a dedicated video on it, but until then, you can learn more about them at VegePod.com. And if you guys are interested in ordering, hey, give them a call, give my buddies down at VegePod a call and let them know, hey, I saw you on John Kohler growing your greens, okraw at the OC Orange County Veg Fest, and they'll give you guys a special discount. All right, so you guys saw my first favorite booth, which is growing your own food, because that's the best. Then you don't have to go to the grocery store to buy your own food. But my second favorite booth is right here. It's actually the Tribest booth, and they're promoting their new Shine juicer as well as their vacuum blending technology that will allow you to preserve more nutrients in the food you guys are eating, right? And why do I like kitchen appliances so much? I mean, well, I sell them for a living. That's how much I really like it, because I believe that everybody should have some of the kitchen appliances that Tribest offers, especially the juicers and the blenders. Because why? They allow you to eat more of the healthiest foods on the entire planet. They allow you to process your fruits and vegetables so that you can now drink the juices, remove the fiber, because some people may have digestive issues. It also allows you to vacuum blend your fruits and vegetables so you keep higher levels of some of the most important nutrients, those antioxidants. So, a lot of the products here are basically, you got to buy a package. You could buy bottled juices at this event, actually. So you could be, subject to the system of buying juices in the juice bar that's down the street and pay lots of money and let them do the juicing for you, which you don't know the produce they're using. You don't know if they're adding water. Hopefully they're not. You don't know what they're doing. When you have a juicer, you guys empower yourselves to do it yourself, so you know exactly what's going in your juice. I like to put, vegetables I grew in my backyard in my juice, so I grew it and I juiced it, so I processed it myself. And you're going to save money at the same time. So seriously, if you guys are looking for a juicer, check out my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/rawfoods, for over 500 videos comparing some of the different appliances. And be sure to support me when you make your purchase at discountjuicers.com. That's how I'm able to continue to make these videos, these educational videos, because so many people, which I thank you for, have supported me in the past by buying their appliance so they could eat more fruits and vegetables from me. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the products that Tribest is showing today. So today Tribest is showing their all-new Shine vertical juicer that just came out. And actually, this juicer is a juicer that I use when I travel because it is inexpensive. It's also light, small, and compact. If you guys are serious about your health, I don't necessarily recommend the Shine because it has a short 10-minute duty cycle, which means you can only juice about 32 ounces to 48 ounces, maybe 48 ounces in one sitting before you must turn the machine off to let it rest and cool down, because this is a low-end machine. That being said, it's probably the best low-end machine that I personally found. I'll put a couple links down below if you guys want to learn more about the Shine vertical juicer. I have several videos about it so far. I actually haven't been able to clog it up or jam it up or stop it from running. So it definitely works really great. Not as good as some of the higher end machines, but definitely if you guys haven't been juicing because all John juicers are so expensive, get a Shine because it is under $150. I would just say check my videos for other videos on the juicers down below. I do like the Shine because it is my favorite style juicer, which is a vertical single auger style machine. I like this style juicers compared to other ones because this one's like a jack of all trades. Not only can it juice fruits, not only can it juice leafy greens, it can also juice hard vegetables, and some certain kinds of juicers are better or worse or juicing some things or others. The Shine and vertical juicers are pretty much good all around for juicing pretty much whatever you want to put in there when you're doing a mixed juice. So and then the other product I want to talk to you guys about today is this guy. This is the personal vacuum glass blender by Tribest. This has a lower power motor, so it's like a really inexpensive vacuum blender. It has a glass carafe, which is actually something I really like a lot. And how this is different than a standard blender is this has a vacuum pump. So before you blend in here, you put this vacuum pump on, you press the button, it starts to basically suck out all the excess oxygen in the carafe. And then once it's done sucking out all the extra oxygen, then you blend. So what does this do? Now you're blending in a basically oxygen-deprived environment. I don't know how long you guys could live in there in an oxygen-deprived environment. I probably couldn't live more than 3 minutes, which is how long I can hold my breath. But here's the thing, when you're in an oxygen-deprived environment and you're blending at high speed and the blades are spinning around 10,000, 20,000 RPMs like in a Vitamix, right? It's basically hitting and cutting the produce up and doing lots of oxidative damage to the produce, right? Smoothies adds air in it. You know, certain nutrients are lowered inside when you're not vacuum blending, and the vacuum blending basically allows you to preserve more nutrients of some of the, especially the antioxidants, vitamin A, vitamin C, different polyphenols, for example, that they have tested to be 2 to 3 times more under vacuum blending than not. If you guys are into blending for your health and not making margaritas, you know, you should have gotten a vacuum blender yesterday, because it significantly improves the nutrition quality, in my opinion, and also the taste is better, and also it improves the storability. So if you make a frozen banana green smoothie, you drink it, but then you have extra and you couldn't drink it all, and you let it sit for a couple, 3 hours. Number one, it solidifies, gets really solid and gloopy, and number two, it tastes horrible after it's been sitting. And if you vacuum blended it, right, it wouldn't be getting as gloopy, and it's going to taste a heck of a lot better than a non-vacuum blended smoothie. So if you guys want to learn about this product, once again, check the links down below. I have a video to this product, which is the low-end vacuum blender by Tribest. I do personally use in my kitchen the DynaPro, which is their more actually certified commercial units for vacuum blending, and that's the one that I prefer myself. All right, so the next booth I want to share with you guys is actually called People for Reason in Science and Medicine. And I was by here actually yesterday, and it was really cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys. There's not a whole lot of booths at this event that I want to share, but this is definitely one of them. All right, so what this organization does on their website, if you want to check them out to learn more, is peopleforreason.org, is they educate people. So for example, they show up at those pink ribbon runs, right? And they hand out these. Choose to think, not pink. You're like, John, man, they're against finding a cure for cancer. Well, I don't think they're necessarily against finding a cure for cancer. That being said, some of the organizations that the pink ribbon supports is actually fueled by drug companies, and the money that is made there goes into research for drugs and drug companies in finding the cure for cancer, if you want to say cure, because only drugs could technically cure things. So, this place, I mean, they basically give out like how to heal cancer DVDs at like the pink ribbon run. So that's really cool. And I would encourage you guys to, educate yourself on organizations that do the pink ribbon runs. I think that that's kind of a scam personally. Really what these organizations really need to be doing, in my opinion, is basically teaching people how to eat to avoid cancer. Diet plays a big influence, as well as other environmental factors in your area. And you can eat foods that prevent cancer and keep cancer away, and even heal cancer, like the Gerson therapy, look that up. I mean, there's so many people I've met along my years that have healed themselves from cancer by basically making major dietary changes, including high nutrient foods in their diet. The other thing this organization is really into is they're against vivisection. So what's vivisection? That's a big fancy word. I didn't really know what it was either. But basically that's animal testing, where they're basically testing on animals. They're like cutting open animals and doing all kinds of crazy things to animals, which is really bad. And what I learned is, vaccinations. They're against vaccinations. They have pamphlets on that. Vaccinations are not vegan. So if you're like a hardcore vegan, don't be getting your vaccinations, because there's like animal pus and all these animal parts in vaccinations, from what the lady was telling me yesterday. And I didn't know that. I mean, I already knew there's heavy metals and things in vaccinations, and for the most part, they're probably not the best thing in the world, depending on your specific circumstances. But with everything in life, there's good and bad. And I want you guys to think critically about things and weigh things out for you. Think, is this going to really benefit me, or is this going to really hurt me in the end? And we all have that choice, but I want you guys to be informed and be an informed consumer and make an informed choice, instead of just what your doctor's telling you. Look up different opinions online, and do your own research to find out your particular answer and if it makes sense to you. Like at this point in my life, you know, I'm probably not going to be getting any vaccinations anytime soon. And for those of you guys that say, oh, like, oh, vaccinations are good, John's an anti-vaxxer. Well, vaccinations only work because we have an immune system. If we had no immune system, the vaccinations wouldn't work. Vaccinations work because they give you small doses of whatever the bacteria or disease is, and then it lets our immune system respond. So, you know, my goal instead is to just basically eat foods to have a healthy immune system in the first place. So should I come across something, a cold, a flu, bugs or whatever, I have a strong immune system that's going to fight it off in the first place the way it should be in the first place, all right? So you can learn more about this place at peopleforreason.org if you're interested. All right, so this is just one of the many speaking areas here at the event. We got Dr. Joel Fuhrman up talking right now. He's talking about basically food addictions and getting rid of junk food, processed food out of your diet. And you know, he's the doc that I would definitely recommend you guys look into. His book, Eat to Live, is one of his many books, and he basically recommends a nutritarian diet, which is a diet style that I personally eat. Yeah, I mean, this is like the most packed I've seen this speaking area here, so I'm glad they got Dr. Fuhrman here to basically help people eat a healthier plant-based diet. All right, so this is another area where they actually have speakers. This is where all the cooking demos go on, and I think it's really cool. They actually have an overhead camera that points down, and they have a screen so you can actually see exactly what the chef is doing. And actually, I gave a presentation here earlier. If you guys want to see that, even if you weren't here, make sure you click the subscribe button right down below. And as long as the videographer that started and stopped my camera did it good and positioned the camera well, I'll be posting that video up next. Right now, they're actually making, let's see, braised maple jackfruit or something like that. So everything here is like all vegan, but it might not always be raw. All right, so the next booth I want to show you guys is actually called Botanicals, and this is the pure organic hemp apothecary. So you guys may be familiar with like CBD oil and whatnot, right? This is basically a full extraction of all the cannabinoids in industrial hemp. So let's actually learn a little bit more about it. All right, so now I want to show you guys actually the Botanicals hemp tincture. This is the 750. This is the strongest one that they currently have out there. And basically what it is, it's an industrial hemp. So I don't want to say the word cannabis because then you think about getting high and all this stuff. Industrial hemp does not get you high. If you smoke it, you can smoke it all day long. You'll never get high from it. In any case, I don't recommend smoking anything. It's definitely not good for your lungs. Even if you just, you know, vaporize it or whatever, it's still not good for your lungs if you breathe in any kind of particulate. You know, as you guys know, I'm a big advocate of including more different foods in your diet, as a wide variety of foods as possible. All these plants on the planet create different phytonutrients and phytochemicals that if we ingest them in various ways, we could get some of the benefits from the plant into us. I mean, literally, plants are nothing more or less than chemical factories, right? They take the sun, they take the nutrients, they take the water, they take in the air, and they basically create chemicals within the plant cells, which is amazing. That's why there's lycopene in tomatoes. And you know, the key word that's in the cannabis that is not as in high amounts in any other food on the planet is actually called cannabinoids. And these are nutrients that really people, for the most part, don't have access to the wide spectrum of cannabinoids that are in the hemp plant or the cannabis plant. So I want you guys to get some of those in you. So what's the easiest way? Well, if you live in a state where it's now legal, think Colorado, California, Washington, Oregon are states where cannabis is legal and the law is written as such. You can grow your own plants. I would encourage you guys to grow your own CBD dominant variety of cannabis, or just the industrial hemp plant that has, you know, basically next to no THC in there, and then juice those leaves or eat those leaves in salads. Eat the baby leaves in salads. That's the best way to get the nutrients, in my opinion. That being said, most people can't do that, unfortunately. So one of the next best ways is to, you know, get the leaves that have been juiced and then freeze dried, which there's a company out that does that. But now what this company is doing is actually they're making basically a tincture. So this tincture is basically made in an organic way using organic ingredients to basically seep out the nutrients from the industrial hemp into a tincture, and then they basically put it in MCT, organic MCT. That's the medium chain triglyceride coconut oil, which is probably one of the best oils aside from the algae oil for the DHA. That being said, I don't normally take the MCT oil myself, but because it is in this Botanicals hemp product, you know, I'm good with taking this tincture because it gives me access to some of the CBD as well as the full spectrum of other cannabinoids and other nutrients that come out in their tincture. Now here's the extra credit. The extra credit is you guys want to wait a little bit because right now they're basically just doing a ethanol extraction for the tinctures, but pretty soon they will soon have a CO2 extract that basically doesn't happen with heat, and it's a lot cleaner, and it actually even tastes worse, but there's more nutrition in it. So that's the one I would recommend. If you guys want to learn more about the Botanicals and actually get a discount, I know the owner of the company. He's actually well known in the health food industry, so I trust this company above all others that are selling kind of like a CBD product. This is full spectrum, probably the best quality, and actually I'm gonna even hopefully go out to the farm next September when they're harvesting to show you guys the process on how they make this stuff, which I'm really excited about. Oh, and the other thing I want to mention before I go is that you know, this company, all the hemp is grown organically, and that's a big, huge issue in the hemp industry. You know, if it's not being grown organic when they're processing the hemp and extracting things out, some of the chemicals and the toxins, the pesticides may be in the final end product. So I'm glad to say that the whole growing process that they show right here, you know, is done in organic methods, and they should hopefully have organic certification and probably be one of the first organic certified full extract botanical, including CBD, on the market. If you guys want to learn more, check them out at rebotanicals.com, and you can get a discount. I got you guys a 20% discount by talking to the owner by using the coupon code okraw, letter O, letter K raw, and that's Rebotanicals. I'm going to be using this stuff right here, the Re 750. This is the stuff I got, as well as I got the formula for pets. So I'm going to be giving my little dog Oakley some hemp products so he could fill his cannabis receptors as well. All right, so now I want to share with you guys, head outside the building to show you guys, I mean, as much as there's a lot of inside stuff like I showed you, there's a lot of outside stuff too. This is like totally crazy. It's like part of a fairgrounds. This has literally been taken over by vegans, vegetarians, and plant-based eaters, and veggie curious peoples. So I mean, this is really set up well, I think. Around the whole perimeter, there's all these basically food booths. I mean, hey, people come out to Veg Fest if they want to eat. I mean, basically I don't see anybody pretty much that doesn't have some food or a drink in their hand for the most part. But yeah, there's so many different food vendors. It's totally insane. Sometimes, as you guys can see, the lines are quite long. You know, but if you have a VIP badge like I do, you know, they have shorter VIP lines in some cases, so you could actually skip the line. I don't know if they're using those, but that was definitely a good idea. And there's just food trucks, and there's like, you know, free samples of coconut water. Actually, there's Harmless Harvest. Let's go ahead and talk about Harmless Harvest real quick. All right, so you guys may be familiar with Harmless Harvest coconut water, and when they originally came out, they were actually doing what's called HPP, that's high pressure pasteurization, which means no heat is involved in the packaging of their coconut water. So they called it raw, and it said raw on the label. Even on some of the, you know, coolers that they had sponsored way back in the day, it says raw coconut water. And then, you know, just a few years ago, actually, and I didn't actually know this until recently, they changed the processing because evidently they're having some issues with the HPP process and potentially some maybe potential bad things getting into the water because of their processing. So they changed their processing. So they do some kind of microfiltration now. And I asked them, like, do you guys heat it? And they said that it's no longer considered raw, but they wouldn't answer if they heat it or not. But it's no longer raw, so if that's important to you, right? The best way to get coconut water is actually in the coconut itself. You know, it has never been, you know, heat processed. That being said, you know, personally, coconut water, I'd rather drink some coconut water in a bottle than a bottle of water, which, you know, at least the coconut water has some antioxidants in there. That's why it's pink. And also it has electrolytes and other minerals that are more absorbable for us in the proper with their proper electrical charge than just water, you know, out of a stream or spring water that, you know, may cause calcification. So that's my 2 cents on that. Lots more things to cover out here. What I want to show you guys next is actually the white picket fence. So what this is, and there they got a guy standing there. This is the VIP area. It's a very important person, or a very important vegan. And you gotta have a VIP badge to get into the VIP area. And basically this area, I think it costs like maybe, I don't know how much, $20 extra if you want to go in the VIP area. But basically inside there, it's basically alcoholic, for the most part, vegan drinks for those of you guys that drink alcohol. Now, although alcohol can be vegan, it doesn't make it healthy. In my opinion, alcohol is still not healthy, so don't drink it. But if you're gonna drink it, you might as well at least make sure it's vegan if you are vegan. All right, so they got, I guess, like hard alcohol, some kind of sparkling things with all kinds of like toxic ingredients in my opinion, but it's low calorie. And they got a couple of kombucha companies. So I don't know, so I'll just tell you the story. So basically I went in there, I'm like, oh, free kombucha. So like, I'm like, okay, kombucha. So I got a kombucha, I drank it, I'm like, whoa, wait a second here, this tastes funny. And it was because it was high alcohol kombucha. So I drank like 7% alcohol, like a little thing of kombucha. I was like, whoa, and I felt a little bit of buzz because I don't normally drink. And just because it's kombucha and it has alcohol doesn't make it all right, you know, but it still has the probiotics in there, right? That being said, and then after that I tried and then I'm like, oh, what the hell, man, I screwed up today. I already had alcohol. So I went over and got the 4.5% alcohol kombucha. Actually, that one I liked better. And then I finally had the non-alcoholic kombucha, which is what I thought it was all in there in the first place. So yeah, you get a VIP badge, know that it's for the alcohol section. So unlike most vegan festivals I've been to, right, it's not just about learning about eating plant-based, it's about having fun at the SoCal Veg Fest. Check it out, man, they got like Michael Jackson, well, somebody dancing like Michael Jackson up there, and they had all kinds of other different, musical acts and all kinds of kirtan in the morning. This is definitely a really cool place to hang out and literally have some fun, get some food, plant-based food, and watch some cool performers. I mean, after all, this is Southern California. Unlike many Veg Fests, I'm glad that here at the SoCal Veg Fest, they actually have this tent right here. It's actually Vegan 101. It's not sponsored by any kind of company or anything because there's a lot of education going on, just of course companies are doing, and also by the lectures and whatnot. But this is actually a Vegan 101. This is like, people that are into eating this way already, guys probably don't have to stop here unless you want a refresher course. And I always like to get refresher courses and see if there's any kind of new tidbits of knowledge that I could learn for myself and maybe even have available to share with you guys out there. But I'm glad because I think a lot of the Veg Fest, they may attract new people that are new into this and they may not know what the heck's going on, what it is. So this booth here talks about some of the basics about being vegan, eating more plants, and saving the animals. So actually I want to go over there real quick and just show you one of the signs that they have. All right, so what I want to let you guys know is that there's many reasons to be vegan, whether it's for the animals, hey, which are great. I don't want any animals to needlessly lose their lives so that I can eat. That's just not necessary in my opinion. Also, you could be doing it for your health. That's why I got into it primarily because of my health was suffering by eating animal products as well as processed food products, including vegan processed food products. So get those out of your life. But also you guys can do it for the planet. I mean, the planet, in my opinion, is in super huge crisis and deforestation is huge. And this sign here says, what eating meat does to the planet. Deforestation uses way more water, it's messing up the oceans, it's potentially causing and part of climate change and waste. Man, it's producing lots of excess waste that now needs to get disposed of. And what you guys don't know is all the cow waste and the cow poop from all those factory farms. Where is that going? What is it doing? Well, in many cases it's being used to fertilize vegetables that you guys are growing, that's being grown for you in the industrial agriculture system, and that you guys are eating secondhand cow poop from factory farms. So how do you get out of that system? Easily, start growing your own food. And what would happen if the world went vegan overnight, right? We'd have no need for the animals or their food, freeing up a land area the size of Africa. Only 20% of this would be needed to feed the 7 billion new herbivores, right? And a plant-based diet alone cuts your carbon footprint by 50%. So the best thing you guys could do for the planet, your health, and for the animals is go vegan, or simply just eat more fruits and vegetables, which is what I like to do. So another booth I like is actually the Drive Clean and Safe booth. And basically this booth, what they're talking about is electric cars and actually some of the rebate programs that are available here in the United States, specifically here in California for you guys. So if you guys live anywhere in the United States, there's a $7,500 basically tax rebate that you guys get right off your income tax as long as you don't buy a Tesla, because they're pretty much out of the rebate. But any other car manufacturer selling electric cars, you guys get that rebate. Furthermore, in the state of California, you get $2,500 back as well as a rebate in some form. And then depending on where you are in California, you may get $500 or more or less extra money. So for example, I'm here talking to them about I'm trying to get my parents to buy their next car, the electric car. I'm really trying to get them to do that. and my parents would get basically $10,500 back if they bought an electric car. You know, you don't get that with a gas car, right? And electric cars are better for the environment overall. Overall, it's a step in a better direction. And I will say that I own a Nissan Leaf. It's not going on over 2 years now. I'll put a link down below to that video if you guys want to learn more about my electric car and why I like them so much. But I really think electric cars are a step in a better direction. Of course, hey, riding your bike's even better. But you know, most people aren't going to just go to riding a bike yet. And my parents are elderly, so they're not in good shape to be like, you know, driving tons of miles on a bike. So I'd be glad if they get an electric car. So another one of my favorite booths at the Veg Fest is actually the Nissan booth here, where you could actually test drive a Nissan and get $10 per car you test drive. And they brought 3 different ones. They brought the Nissan Leaf, which is my favorite because it's an electric car. I guess spring 2019 they're going to have a bigger battery coming out, maybe give it over a 200-mile range. So you could get $10 if you test drive that. And then they have their Rogue, and then this other one, I forget whatever, the Kicks. And if you test drive all 3, you can make $10 each car. So that's 10 times 3, that's $30. You can make $30 in Amazon gift cards. So what I did the first day when I got here, I'm like, oh, Nissan's here. Oh, I could test drive the new Leaf, which is kind of cool anyways because I have the older one. And it's not too much different except the capacity is larger, a few more bells and whistles. And I made $10 and they're like, hey, you want to drive another one? I'm like, yeah. So basically, I test drove 3 cars, got $30 Amazon, and actually to get in here is only $5. So literally, if you guys come to SoCal VegFest and Nissan's here and they do the same thing next year, you can be making some money. All right, so what you guys are seeing now is actually the main stage area. This is where they had, you know, the Michael Jackson performer performing earlier. They had actually, right before this talk here, they had actually a band, the Luminaries, like totally rocking the place. This place was totally packed back then. Now they're doing basically a talk on vegan clothing. So there's lots of education going on at this main stage outside, and they actually have a nice area. You guys can't really see much of it, but it's actually they have a lot of tables out here, but a lot of them are covered with actually umbrellas. So if you don't want to get too hot, and I want to say the weather here in Southern California this weekend has been perfect. It's been maybe like mid 70s to low 80s. So just perfect weather here in Southern California for the SoCal Veg Fest. So one of the reasons why I love the Veg Fest is because I get to meet so many of my viewers, you guys that are watching me out there. I mean, it's kind of amazing to me that at this Veg Fest, like, I'm really not well known. It's actually kind of good because I can kind of sneak around and get my videos done without being like interrupted all the time. If I go to the Heirloom Expo, like everybody's topping me and stuff, but here I'm surprised that more, you know, vegans don't know me, which I believe they should personally, because I teach, you know, that one of the healthiest ways to eat a plant-based diet, which is incorporating massive amounts of fruits and vegetables, and even how to grow your own food in your backyard. And I ran into this guy here, Aaron.
Hi, my name's Aaron. I'm from Huntington Beach, and John, it's so good to meet you. And I was hoping I'd run into you because, you know, you really helped me when I was just juicing and kind of eating partially healthy but bad on the weekends and didn't really know the ropes. I found your okraw channel, and I learned a lot of good facts about nutrition and micronutrients and phytonutrients, and it really gave me the knowledge to make that informed decision. And so I just really appreciate that, and you know, discountjuicers.com for getting me on track with my juicing and knowing what's good to juice and what's better. So good, better, best.
Yeah, right,
so
man.
I appreciate all you do, and you know, we're here at SoCal Veg Fest, and it's an awesome event, and I'm so glad to run into you, and I appreciate what you do, and keep doing it.
Cool, man. So I want to ask you a couple questions. So, like, before you started watching my videos, you were kind of eating partly vegan or plant-based, and then what was it, because of my videos you went all the way, or 100%, or what?
You know, I had some health problems, high blood pressure, sciatica. You know, I was overweight, and you know, you shared some of your story with me about your past health issues and winding up in the hospital, and it kind of gave me some perspective on, okay, am I gonna do, like, you know, some health problems, or do I want to reverse these?
Yeah.
Do I want to wind up in the hospital, or do I want to live a healthy life, and you know, with, you know, all the phytonutrients and things that I learned on okraw. You know, it really gave me the, like they said, the information and the tools to make better informed decisions. And then, you know, from there I became conscious. So when I started going out to places and eating out with family, I'm like, okay, well, how nutrient dense is this food? And should I really be putting this in my body? So it really kind of helped me get that perspective change. You know, and so that's one of the reasons that, you know, it helped me make that informed decision. And I finally went just from juicing and eating somewhat healthy to full vegan and
awesome,
raw.
Man. That's great, man. I'm so glad. And you know what? That could happen to you guys too. I mean, you know, I met so many people like Aaron here at this event that, you know, I've changed their lives, and it's not an all or nothing game. It's not like you got to go all vegan or you're a failure. No, man. If every day you just eat one more extra apple, have an extra green juice, have an extra, you know, jujubes. I had jujubes in the car earlier. Whatever, more fruits and vegetables, the better. It's not about all this or all nothing. But once again, you know, like Aaron said, really, this is a wise guy, right? I mean, not wise guy, but he's wise. Because, you know, do you still want to have those health problems, right? If you're still eating the junk that's giving you the health problems, your health problems are less likely to go away. If you get on a good program, eat nutrient-dense food, specifically high antioxidants, you're going to have the best probability of healing and getting rid of all your diseases like so many people I met. All right, man, so it was great, to meet you, man.
I'll just share with you real quick, you know, after going, you know, mostly raw, but about, you know, 1 meal a day cooked, I've lost 50 pounds, and I'm off all my medications.
Wow, damn, I mean, I hear so many people that get off their meds now. You don't go off your meds without your doctor's permission and working with them closely. But you know what? I hear this all the time, and you guys can get off your meds too, right? Eat healthy, right? Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. All right, man. It's good meeting you, buddy.
All right, you too.
Take care.
God bless.
All right, so now what you guys see is actually in the food tent area. There's also like food trucks, but this food area is totally huge. There's like all these basically tents have all kinds of different gourmet food, Thai, vegan, like tea, like, I don't know, fried funnel cakes that are vegan, donuts that are vegan, agua fresca, vegan pupas. Like basically, if it's like a vegan food in existence, it's probably here, like no joking. That being said, you know, in my opinion, a lot of it is highly processed foods, and I want to encourage you guys to eat more, you know, real foods. Actually, they do have a nice system here that I've never seen before at any other veggie festival that I'll show you guys in a minute. And actually that should be implemented anywhere. So actually I went around to each booth to see like if there's something there I could eat, and I didn't really have to ask them. I could just see on this sign where they actually tell if something's raw or not raw, or if it's like has you know, different ingredients, if it's gluten-free or whatever. So actually, but before I do that all, actually I gotta sit down and eat because I'm like super hungry. So I'm gonna show you guys what I ate here at the SoCal VegFest, despite all these amazing food tents. All right, so now I want to show you guys actually what I'm eating for lunch. You know, you guys saw all the food trucks and all the food area. I mean, there's so much vegan food here, but there's not too many raw food options. I mean, there's like one place that has raw food. Maybe I'll get that for dinner or something like that. But basically, you know, I want to encourage you guys, when you come to a veg event, as much as, you know, it's great that they have all these foods that animals did not have to die for, right? I want you guys to do better than that. Bring your own food. Number one, you're going to save a lot of money. It's cheaper, right? And number two, it's going to be way healthier than some of the prepared foods that are out there. So today what I'm eating for lunch is we got a dragon fruit, high antioxidant fruit. We got a bunch of strawberries. And of course, I got some California mangoes. So this is kind of like a hodgepodge. Normally I do like a mono meal. Yesterday I did a mono meal of strawberries. Today this is like the fruit I gotta use before it goes bad. So that's what I'm eating, all right? So eat more fruit and be cute, and it's definitely healthy for you. And yeah, choose your fruits wisely. Not all fruits are created equal. Definitely would prefer to eat dragon fruits instead of bananas. All right, so you guys just saw what I brought for lunch, and now I'm not quite ready for dinner, but the event is closing really soon, so I'm actually gonna get some stuff to go and then eat it later tonight. Maybe I'll review it for you if I feel like it. But the only place I found to eat food at that I would actually want to eat at is this place. It's called Auaganic. And actually, for those of you guys that live here in Southern California, they are in Chino, California, and they have some of the menu items they have here that are raw at their place in Chino. And so what I want to do is go up there and actually show you guys this little sign that actually all the food booths that are selling food or even giving samples should have, and I think it's really innovative. And then I'm going to share with you guys actually what I'm going to order tonight. All right, so now I'm here at Auaganic. I want to give you guys a close-up. I mean, they have a full menu here that I'm not going to show you guys right now, but every booth should have one of these, and basically it's the SoCal VegFest Orange County, and it basically has the name of the company, and then it has basically a chart here. So, you know, each little symbol means something, and they're supposed to have all the different menu items or the samples that they're providing. So, for example, this one means like no garlic, onions, apsifolia, chives, or scallions. So those are guys that are on like an Ayurvedic diet, like yogic ways. You guys don't want that garlic stuff because they think it's bad. They have one for like if you're gluten-free, since a lot of vegans are gluten-free, they have one here for nut-free if you're allergic to nuts. They have one that's like soy-free, and they also have one that's raw. So I'm glad they have this one that's raw, and I'll actually walk around every booth here to find out, like, okay, who has raw stuff? And they didn't have to ask. I could just look at the sign, and like most places, man, it was like totally empty. Whereas this place, it's basically everything is checked except like one thing they're selling is not raw. So I really want to encourage you guys to eat raw, because when you're eating raw, generally what you're going to get is you're going to get copious amounts of fruits and vegetables, unless it's maybe like some kind of like a nut date dessert thing. And it's going to be a lot healthier for you guys, right? It's less processed than, I mean, this booth is less processed than any of the booths here, although there's other 2 booths that had something raw. One was like a Thai booth that had some kind of like basically chopped up vegetables with a dressing on top, which to me is kind of boring. I'd rather get like a pizza collard wrap or norito, which is like nori sheets wrapped with, and stuffed with all kinds of cool vegetables with a good sauce and a nut pate. And then actually another booth had hummus and pita. And I'm like, how is that one raw? And she said, the pita's not raw, but the hummus is. And I'm like, you don't cook the garbanzos? She's like, no, they're raw. So if the garbanzos are raw, well, then that's another issue. It's probably gonna give you some digestive issues eating some, uncooked beans. Anyways, I think what I'll be ordering today, and actually they got good affordable prices here. I mean, basically it's just $10 for the Norito, the collard wrap. They also have a taco, I think, for $10. And actually they got a pizza for $7. This is probably like the cheapest raw pizza I've seen anywhere on my travels. So actually I'm thinking I'm gonna get 2 raw pizzas and actually 1 Norito to go. All right, so we are pretty much at the end of the Veg Fest. I think there's like maybe 15 more minutes to go. Everybody's clearing out. The food vendors are like packing up. And actually it's really cool, man. Stay to the end if you're vegan, not raw vegan. There's actually one of the places, one of the vendors are actually just giving all their food away. Like the Mexican place, just giving away free vegan Mexican food. It's always good to stay to the end. Yeah, so I guess now I want to share my review of the SoCal Veg Fest here. I definitely first want to say it's the best Veg Fest that I've ever been to in my life. I've been going to the San Francisco Veg Fest. I've hit other Veg Fests around the country. You know, I hit the Santa Rosa Veg Fest earlier this year. I mean, this one definitely has got their stuff together. Yeah, I mean, it's the largest one that I've ever been to in my life. It was totally insane how many people here. You know, it's getting just creating awareness. It's really affordable to come. And like I showed you guys earlier, you could even make money by coming to the Veg Fest by test driving a Nissan. Test drive the Leaf, that was really fun. I enjoyed that. And so many things to learn here. I mean, I really love the educational schedule. I mean, it seemed really balanced to me, like good healthy recipes, you know, raw food recipes, standard vegan, you know, recipes. Also, you know, speakers speaking about the health topics of why you should be vegan. People talking about the ethics reasons for being vegan. Yeah, so I think it was a really well balanced event, actually. I don't know how they could really do it better, although I do have some suggestions, so I'll get into some suggestions. So my first suggestion is, you know, as much as this gets a lot of people together and people like will just naturally sit down at tables and start chatting and stuff, I think it'd be good to kind of have, I don't know how to do this or how you would do this, is have some kind of event, you know, or some kind of meet up within the event so that people can meet each other that are in similar situations. And I have no idea how to do this, but I think it'd be really good to kind of like, you know, have this as a meeting place for people, but then also have groups within this that people could get to know others. Because, you know, here's the thing, as much as somebody comes to this event, if they're like loners like I am or introverts and they want to talk to anybody else, you know, they'll learn about it, but then they might go home and then they might get off track. But if you have support, if you have friends that support you, and that's why I encourage all you guys out there to get some friends, right, that support you in what you're doing. And if your friends don't support you in what you're doing, being vegan, eating more fruits and vegetables, right, find new friends that are going to support you. Actually, one of my last episodes was on friends and actually having friends and how they are important to your health. But, you know, creating this to get people to go vegan or eat more plants and hopefully fruits and vegetables, and then to basically set up networking so that after this event, people can still stay connected with each other to motivate each other to continue on saving more animals, saving the environment, and having better health for themselves. Another thing I would like to say and suggestion I would give if I was running this is, you know, I love the signs where it specified if food was raw or if it had garlic, if it was gluten-free or nut-free. I think oil-free is another really important one for me personally, you know, to let people know if it has oil or not, because oil calories add up really fast. I mean, it could be super long, like is it have added sugar, added salt, but I don't know if I'd go that far, but I think oil is really important, because I know there's a lot of people that are trying to eat healthy and avoid oils and extra calories that come with it. Of course, you know, the raw food meals, I think they're not using any oil. I talked to the owner specifically who actually watches me. He's a really cool guy. I'm going to try to get by his place and do an in-depth restaurant review for you guys, hopefully at a later date. Another suggestion that I would have for this event is really trying to put forward like the differences. I mean, I know there is educational talks about it, about raw foods, but really educating people about the best plant foods, which are the fruits and the vegetables. As much as, you know, fruits and vegetables, they're vegan foods, and in my opinion, they're the healthiest. Well, that's not my opinion, that's science fact, that the fruits and vegetables, especially the leafy greens, are the most important foods on the entire planet. And just from being here, as much as there's a lot of vegan processed foods and long lines at some of these booths, you know, I really think that, you know, more people should know about really if you are eating plant-based, if you're eating vegan, you really should eat a large percentage of fruits and vegetables, because they're not only the least expensive foods on the planet, they're not only the least caloric foods on the planet, they're also the most nutrient-dense foods, and it can provide more health benefits. In addition, of course, you could grow your own fruits and vegetables. So I was glad to see the VegePod, you know, kind of teaching people to get vegans who eat plants to grow their own. And, you know, that's one of my big messages as my Growing Your Greens channel, you know, online, where I teach you guys how to grow your own food. So I hope there'd be more fruit and vegetable information, maybe a fruit and vegetable booth, and even more importantly, you know, for those people that just want to eat healthy at this event, while there's like one raw food booth, maybe there should be just somebody selling fresh fruits and vegetables, like a farmer's market, you know, kind of stand, but maybe not with vegetables, maybe just with grab and go fruits that are really easy, that are organic. You know, I think that would be really good, because that would promote eating more fruits and vegetables, which is definitely way healthier than a lot of the vegan processed foods. Although, you know, I wonder if that business would even survive if somebody was selling just fruits here. You know, maybe if you had exotic tropical fruits and coconuts and stuff. I mean, and if the festival doesn't do it, maybe one of you guys want to have a booth to do that. I think that'd be great. Go to the produce terminal, stock up on a bunch of stuff for pretty cheap, come here, you know, mark it up a bunch and provide a service so that people here can eat the healthiest foods on the planet, you know, like the world's best fast food, the fruit, right? Instead of like vegan tacos, burritos, and even the donuts. So I guess at the end of this video, I would definitely say if you guys live in the Southern California area, you should definitely make it to the SoCal VegFest. It's definitely worth your time. Now, would I come for 2 days or one? Well, it depends on the speakers. You know, if there's certain speakers on one day that you want to see mostly, go on that day. You know, I mean, literally it took me 2 solid days to get around this event. The first day, pretty much I walked every square inch and visited every booth and saw what they were doing so I could make a video about it for you guys, you know, and then also have a presentation and met with people. And then the second day, pretty much I gave my other presentation, basically ate lunch, talked to people, and then made this video, and pretty much we're at the end of the day, so like my days were totally booked. But I think you could probably get away with going one day, but I'd say come both. It's definitely fun. VIP area or not, I mean, if you drink alcohol, it'd probably be good to come to the VIP area, but if you don't, save your money, don't get the VIP ticket. I got a swag bag too, but I don't know, wasn't super, I like the bag, but wasn't super impressed with the contents. But yeah, you just get out here, definitely a good time. I would encourage them and other people around the country, you know, start a Veg Fest in your area. I think these are definitely good. You know, of course, I like the fruit and vegetable slant myself and less processed stuff. So that's always welcome, and you know, to get people to eat more fruits and vegetables, the best plant foods on the planet, but of course to also save the animals. So yeah, definitely probably the best balanced and you know, Veg Fest that I've been to in my life so far. So I hope I get invited back next year, able to speak and spread the message of eating more fruits and vegetables. If you guys enjoyed this episode, hey, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. That'll ensure next time I come to any veg festivals or events, I make a video, because it definitely takes, you know, a good half of my day to, you know, go around and film all these different clips, and then my editor takes her some time to put it together. So I appreciate you guys that are watching me. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below, and make sure you click the bell. Even if you are subscribed, make sure you click the bell so you get notified when my new and upcoming episodes coming out. Hopefully the next episode will be my demo that I gave here, and you know, many people came up to me after and said, John, that soup was amazing. So I want you guys to eat more nutrient dense, you know, minimally processed fruits and vegetables, and that's what is in my soup. If you guys want to learn how to do that without watching the video, hey, just go to my website, gygbook.com. You could get my my ebook with all my different over 100 recipes in there on how I actually eat some of the healthiest foods on the entire planet. Also, be sure to share this video with somebody else. If you have friends that live in Southern California, they want to know about this Veg Fest, share this so that they can see how it is, and you know, hopefully they can come next year, because every year is a little bit different, and from what I hear, it's just growing and growing bigger. Because you know, one thing you cannot deny Like as time goes on, more and more people will be finding a plant-based diet. More and more people will need support like this event, gives people here in the Southern California area. So I want to encourage you guys, if you guys live in an area where there's no Veg Fest, start one, start your own. They're really not that hard. Find a location, get people enrolled, get speakers to come, and just start doing it. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel, dedicated to teach you guys how to eat some of the healthiest plant-based foods, the fruits and the vegetables, in their minimally processed, raw, and natural state as possible. So with that, my name is John Kohler with okraw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.